The cargo ship Horizon's Edge floated quietly through deep space. Stars glittered in the darkness all around it. The ship looked old and tired. Its metal hull had scratches and rust marks everywhere. Paint was peeling off in several places. Inside the ship, Captain Jake Martinez sat in his command chair. He was a tall man with gray hair and calm eyes. Around him, 12 crew members worked at their stations. They wore simple blue uniforms. "All systems normal, Captain," said Sarah Chun. She was young, only 23 years old. This was her first deep space mission. Her hands moved nervously over her control panel. Jake nodded slowly. "Good. Keep scanning the area." The ship was carrying medical supplies to Colony 7. The colony needed medicine badly. People were sick there. This delivery could save hundreds of lives. Suddenly, red lights flashed on Sarah's screen. Her heart jumped. "Captain, 3 ships approaching fast." Everyone in the command room turned to look. The main screen showed 3 dark shapes moving toward them. They were big, much bigger than the Horizon's Edge. "Identify them," Jake ordered. His voice was still calm. Sarah's fingers flew across her keyboard. Her face went pale. "They're Krail warships, sir. Pirates." Fear filled the room. Everyone knew about the Krail. They were reptilian aliens, cruel and violent. They attacked weak ships and killed the crews. Nobody survived Krail attacks. The 3 warships surrounded them like wolves circling prey. They had heavy armor and massive weapons. Laser cannons pointed directly at the human ship. A message came through the speakers. The voice was rough and harsh. "Human vessel, this is Commander Vex of the Krail Empire. Your ship now belongs to us. Surrender immediately or die." Sarah looked at her captain with wide, frightened eyes. "Sir, their firepower is 20 times greater than ours. We have no weapons. We can't fight them. Should we surrender?" The other crew members waited. Some were praying quietly. Others held their breath. Jake stood up from his chair. He walked slowly to the main window. Outside, the 3 Krail warships waited like hungry beasts. Then Jake smiled. It was a small, strange smile, a smile that held a secret. "Send them a message, Sarah," he said quietly. "What should I say, sir?" Jake's smile grew wider. His eyes became cold as ice. "Tell them they should leave. Now, while they still can." Sarah stared at her captain. Her mouth opened in shock. "Sir? Tell them to leave? But we're just a cargo ship. We have no weapons." Jake didn't answer. He kept looking at the Krail warships outside. His face was completely calm. Sarah sent a message with shaking hands. She couldn't understand what the captain was thinking. Was he crazy? They were going to die. Inside the Krail command ship, Commander Vex read the human message. Then he started laughing. It was a terrible, hissing laugh. "These humans are fools. They dare threaten us." His crew laughed too. The reptilian aliens showed their sharp teeth. Their yellow eyes glowed with cruel joy. "Fire warning shots," Vex ordered. "Show them we are serious." Then we board their ship and take everything. The Krail warships charged their weapons. Bright blue energy gathered in their massive cannons. In seconds, they would fire. "Captain, they're powering weapons." Sarah shouted. Her voice was filled with panic. "We're going to die." Jake reached toward his command console. His hand moved to a single red button. It was covered by a protective glass case. He flipped the glass open. "No, Sarah," Jake said softly. "They are—" He pressed a button. Suddenly, everything changed. The old, rusty panels on the ship's hull began to move. They slid open with a deep mechanical sound. Underneath, the metal was new and shining. Huge weapons emerged from hidden compartments. Railguns appeared on the sides. Plasma cannons rose from the top. Missile launchers opened along the bottom. Dozens of weapons, all pointing at the Krail ships. The ship's exterior transformed completely. The rust and damage disappeared. Armor plates shifted into position. The weak cargo ship was gone. In its place stood a powerful warship. Sarah fell back in her chair. What is this?" Jake turned to face his crew. His gentle expression was gone. Now he looked like a soldier, a warrior. "This is not a cargo ship," he said clearly. "This is the HSS Reaper, a human warship. We are not delivering medicine. We are hunting pirates." He pointed at the screen. "And they just walked into our trap." The crew sat frozen in shock. Their captain had lied to them? No, he had protected them. They didn't know the truth in case they were captured. "All weapons lock on targets," Jake commanded. His voice was now strong and sharp. A tactical officer spoke up. Jake noticed he wasn't surprised. He knew the truth all along. "Targets locked, Captain. Ready to fire." Outside, the Krail ships had stopped. Commander Vex stared at his screen in horror. No, this is impossible. Intelligence said this was a cargo vessel. Just humans. Weak humans. He screamed at his crew. Full power to shields. Evasive maneuvers. Retreat. But it was too late. Jake's voice was cold as ice. Fire. The Reaper's weapons erupted with devastating power. The space around them exploded with light and fire. The Reaper's railguns fired first. Metal projectiles shot out at incredible speed. They moved faster than bullets, faster than missiles. The first Krail warship didn't have time to react. The projectiles smashed through its shields like paper. They tore through the armor. Explosions rippled across the alien ship's hull. "Direct hit on target 1, the tactical officer reported. "Their shields are down." Jake stood firm, watching the battle. Plasma cannons fire. Bright blue beams of superheated plasma shot from the Reaper. They hit the damaged Krail ship directly. The alien vessel exploded in a massive ball of fire. Pieces of burning metal scattered into space. 1 Krail ship was destroyed. 2 remained. Target 2 was trying to flee. Sarah shouted. She was terrified but doing her job. Commander Vex's ship turned desperately, trying to run away. His crew was screaming in panic. "Jump to hyperspace. Get us out of here." "Engines charging. Commander," his pilot yelled. 30 seconds until we can jump." 30 seconds they didn't have. "Missiles away," Jake ordered calmly. The Reaper launched 12 missiles at once. They streaked through space with white trails behind them. The Krail ship tried to shoot them down. Its defense guns fired wildly. 3 missiles were destroyed, missed their target, but 5 missiles hit home. The explosions crippled the Krail ship's engines. Smoke and fire poured from the back of the vessel. It stopped moving dead in space. The third Krail ship was now alone. Its captain made a choice. Instead of fighting or running, he powered down all weapons. "Human ship," the alien voice came through, shaking with fear. "We surrender. Please, we surrender." Jake studied the disabled ships on his screen. Both were helpless now. Their weapons were offline. Their shields were gone. Sarah looked at her captain. "Sir, what do we do now? Should we destroy them?" The crew waited. The battle was over in less than 3 minutes. 3 Krail warships had attacked 1 human ship. Now 2 were crippled, 1 was destroyed, and the Krail were begging for mercy. Jake was quiet for a moment. Then he spoke. "No, we don't kill helpless enemies. That's not who we are." He opened a communication channel to both Krail ships. His face appeared on their screens. Commander Vex saw the human captain and felt true fear for the first time in his life. This human's eyes were not cruel. They were worse. They were calm, controlled, dangerous. "Krail ships, you have 2 choices," Jake said firmly. "You can die here, right now, or you can live and deliver a message to your empire." Vex's throat was dry. What message?" Jake leaned forward. "Tell your people what happened here today. Tell them that human space is protected. Tell them that every cargo ship they see might be a warship in disguise. Tell them that humanity is not prey." He paused, letting his words sink in. "Tell them that if they attack us again, there will be no mercy, no survivors, only death." The Krail captain nodded quickly, desperately. Yes, we will tell them. We will warn everyone." Jake's expression didn't change. "Good. Now leave, before I change my mind." The two damaged Krail ships slowly turned away. Their engines sputtered and sparked, but they worked enough to move. Slowly, painfully, they limped away into the darkness of space. Sarah watched them go. "Captain, why did you let them live?" Jake sat back in his chair. His face looked tired now. "Because dead pirates can't spread warnings. But scared pirates? They'll tell everyone they meet." 2 weeks later, the damaged Krail ships arrived at their home world, Krailin Prime. The planet was dark and red, covered in volcanic mountains and black oceans. Commander Vex limped into the great war hall. His uniform was torn and burned. His scales were scarred. Behind him, the surviving crew members followed, their heads down in shame. The Krail High Command sat on elevated thrones made of bone and metal. 12 powerful warlords stared down at Vex. Their eyes glowed with anger. "You return defeated?" growled War Chief Thrax, the most powerful Krail leader. "You had 3 warships against 1 small human cargo vessel. How did you fail?" Vex fell to his knees. His voice shook. "It was not a cargo ship, War Chief. It was a trap, a human warship disguised as easy prey." The war hall erupted with angry hissing and growling. The Krail warlords refused to believe it. "Lies!" shouted another commander. "Humans are weak. They avoid conflict. They run from fights." "Show us the battle recordings," Thrax demanded. "Prove your words." Vex activated a holographic display. The entire war hall watched in silence as the footage played. They saw the human ship transform. They saw the hidden weapons emerge. They watched their warship explode in flames. The hall became completely quiet. No one spoke. No one moved. Thrax's claws gripped his throne tightly. This could not be real. But it was real. And soon, more reports came flooding in. A Krail pirate fleet had attacked a human medical ship near the Andromeda sector. 5 ships were destroyed. The medical ship was another disguised warship. A Krail raiding party tried to board a human transport near Centauri Station. They were all killed. The transport crew were actually human marines. Every week brought new stories, new defeats, new deaths. The pattern was clear now. Humans had filled their space with traps. Any ship could be a weapon. Any crew could be soldiers. There was no way to know which ships were real targets and which were deadly hunters. Thrax called an emergency meeting of all Krail clan leaders. Hundreds of warriors gathered in the Great Hall. "Hear me?" Thrax's voice echoed through the chamber. "We have made a grave mistake. We thought humans were prey. We were wrong." He showed them all the battle recordings. Every defeat, every destroyed Krail ship, every dead crew. "Humans are not weak," Thrax continued. "They are clever. They set traps. They wait patiently. And when we attack, they strike like thunder." An old clan leader stood up. His scales were gray with age. "What do you suggest, War Chief?" Thrax was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke words that shocked everyone present. "We avoid human space. Completely. Forever." Meanwhile, across the galaxy, other species were learning the same lesson. In the Zorthian trading markets, merchants whispered nervously. The Zorthians were small, peaceful aliens who loved to trade goods between worlds. "Did you hear about the Krail?" One merchant said to another. "They say humans destroyed 20 of their ships in just 1 month." "I heard 50 ships," another replied. "And not just Krail. The Vorgoth pirates tried to raid a human colony. None of them returned. The humans are more dangerous than we thought." On the peaceful world of Luminos, the Luminari monks discussed the news in their temples. The Luminari were wise, ancient beings who study philosophy and peace. "Violence spreads across the stars," one elderly monk said sadly. "Humans have shown their true nature." But a younger monk disagreed. "No, master. Humans have always been this way. Strong but peaceful. Kind but deadly when threatened. We simply forgot this truth." The elder monk nodded slowly. "Perhaps you are right. They do not seek war. But when war finds them, they become something terrible to behold." Within 3 months, the entire galaxy knew the truth about humanity. Pirate clans held emergency meetings. Criminal organizations updated their target lists, removing all human vessels. Even the powerful Dravix Empire, which feared no one, issued a quiet order to its fleet commanders. Do not engage human ships unless absolutely necessary. One phrase was repeated in every language, on every world, in every space station, and trading posts across known space. Never attack a lone human vessel. It might be the last thing you ever do. The message had spread. Humanity's plan had worked perfectly. On Earth, deep inside the Human Defense Command headquarters, Admiral Catherine Ross stood before a massive window. Below her, the blue and green planet turned slowly. Above, thousands of ships moved through orbital traffic lanes. She held a data tablet in her hands. Report after report scrolled across the screen. Krail retreat, Vorgoth withdrawal, Dravix caution. Pirate activity in human space had dropped by 78% in just 3 months. Her assistant, Lieutenant Marcus Webb, entered the room. He was a young officer with sharp eyes and a quick mind. Admiral, the latest numbers are in, Marcus said. Pirate attacks on human vessels have nearly stopped. We've achieved our objective. Catherine smiled, but her eyes remained serious. Good. Very good. But this is only the beginning, Marcus. She turned to face him. Do you understand what we've really done here? Marcus looked confused. We protected our ships, ma'am. We've made attacking humans too dangerous. Yes, but more than that. Catherine walked to a large holographic display. She pressed a button. The display showed the entire galaxy, with human territory marked in blue. For decades, other species saw us as weak, she explained. We are explorers, scientists, diplomats. We always choose peace first. We negotiate. We compromise. We avoid conflict whenever possible. She highlighted several alien territories in red. Aggressive species saw this as weakness. They thought we were easy targets, prey to be hunted. Marcus nodded. So we had to show them our strength. Exactly. Catherine zoomed in on the routes where the Reaper and other disguised warships operated. But we didn't start a war. We didn't invade anyone's territory. We didn't kill innocent people. She pointed to the data. We simply made attacking us too costly, too dangerous, too unpredictable. Marcus began to understand. The disguised warships, the Reaper strategy. Every pirate now thinks any human ship might be a trap. Precisely, Catherine said with satisfaction. We've weaponized uncertainty. Pirates don't know which ships are real targets and which are hunters, so they avoid all of them. She pulled up images of different human vessels, cargo ships, medical transports, science vessels, tourist cruisers. The truth is, only about 30 ships in our entire fleet are disguised warships like the Reaper. Just 30 out of thousands. But the enemy doesn't know which 30. Marcus's eyes widened. So they have to treat every single human ship as a potential threat. Now you understand. Catherine looked proud. We've achieved maximum protection with minimum resources, and we've done it without starting a war. She walked back to the window, looking down at Earth. Humans are not a warrior race by choice, Marcus. We are builders, dreamers, artists and scientists. We reach for the stars because we want to explore, not conquer. Her voice became harder, like steel. But when someone threatens us, when someone tries to hurt our people, we become something else entirely. We become protectors, hunters, warriors. She turned to face Marcus directly. We have a saying on Earth, from ancient times. Speak softly and carry a big stick. Do you know what it means? Marcus thought for a moment. Be peaceful, but be ready for war? Close enough. Catherine smiled. We prefer peace. We always will. But we make sure everyone knows that attacking us is suicide. That's how we protect our people, without endless fighting. Marcus looked at the star map again. What happens now, Admiral? Will this strategy work forever? Catherine's smile faded. No. Eventually, someone will test us again. A new enemy will rise. They'll think they're smarter or stronger than the others. She walked to her desk and sat down. When that happens, we'll be ready. We'll adapt. We'll find a new way to protect our people without destroying ourselves in the process. Marcus saluted. The Reaper strategy is brilliant, ma'am. Catherine returned the salute. It's not about being brilliant, Lieutenant. It's about being human. We don't give up. We don't surrender. We find a way. She looked at the reports again. Captain Martinez and the Reaper crew have done their job perfectly. They've sent a message to the entire galaxy. What message is that, Admiral? Catherine's eyes were cold and determined. That humanity protects its own. That we are not prey. That we are not victims. And that anyone who tries to harm us will learn a very painful lesson. She stood up and looked out at the stars once more. We are explorers who became warriors when we had to. We are peaceful people who will fight when necessary. That is what makes us human. And that, she said quietly, is what makes us dangerous. 3 months had passed since the battle with the Krail warships. The Reaper was on patrol again, disguised once more as a simple cargo transport called Morning Star. Captain Jake Martinez sat in his command chair, drinking coffee. The bridge was quiet, peaceful. Outside, stars drifted by slowly. Sarah Chun was still his communications officer, but she was different now. Confident, calm. She had learned the truth about their mission, and it had changed her. Captain, long-range sensors are picking up movement, Sarah reported. Her voice was steady, professional. No fear. Jake set down his coffee cup. Show me. The main screen displayed 3 ships approaching from the edge of the system. They were medium-sized raiders. Probably Vorgoth pirates. Jake thought. The Vorgoth were known for their brutality. Are they heading toward us? Jake asked calmly. Sarah checked her instruments. Yes, sir. Direct course. They'll be in weapons range in 5 minutes. The bridge crew tensed slightly, but no one panicked. They had trained for this. They knew what the Reaper could do. Jake watched the approaching ships carefully. He didn't reach for the red button yet. He waited. For minutes. 3 minutes. 2 minutes. The pirate ships came closer and closer. Their weapons were charging. Their sensors were scanning the Reaper. Then, suddenly, something changed. Captain, Sarah said with surprise in her voice. They're turning away. They're leaving. Jake leaned forward, watching the screen. The 3 pirate ships had changed course completely. They weren't just turning away. They were running. Their engines burned at maximum power as they jumped to hyperspace and disappeared. The bridge was silent for a moment. Then one crew member laughed. Others joined in. Soon everyone was smiling. Sarah turned to look at her captain, amazement on her face. Sir, we didn't even reveal ourselves. We didn't fire a shot. They just ran away. Jake smiled and picked up his coffee again. Yes, Sarah, that's exactly the point. He stood up and walked to the main window. Outside, the space where the pirate ships had been was now empty. Do you understand what just happened? Jake asked his crew. A tactical officer spoke up. They scanned us and got scared. They didn't know if we were a real cargo ship or another Reaper. Exactly right. Jake nodded. 3 months ago, those pirates would have attacked without hesitation. They would have thought we were easy prey. He turned to face his crew. But now they've heard the stories. They've seen the reports. They know that any human ship might be a trap, so they chose to leave instead of risking their lives. Sarah understood now. We won without fighting. That's right, Jake said proudly. The best victory is the one where no one has to die. We've made the entire galaxy afraid to attack us. Not because we're cruel, but because we're prepared. He walked back to his chair and sat down. Every pirate out there now has to make a choice. Is that human ship worth the risk? Might it be a warship in disguise? Will I survive if I attack? And most of them, he continued, will decide the risk is too high. They'll find easier targets. They'll leave humans alone. Jake opened his captain's log on his personal console. He began to record his thoughts, as he did after every patrol. Captain's log, day 93 of Operation Reaper. He spoke clearly. Today we achieved something remarkable. We won a battle without firing a single shot. 3 hostile vessels approached, scanned us, and retreated without engaging. He paused. choosing his words carefully. This is the goal we've been working toward. Not to destroy our enemies, but to make them fear attacking us. Not to start wars, but to prevent them. Sarah listened as her captain continued speaking. The galaxy now understands what humanity has always known about itself. We are not warlike by nature. We prefer peace. We value life. We explore the stars because we want to learn and grow. Jake's voice became stronger. But when someone threatens our people, when someone tries to harm the innocent, we become something different. We become protectors. We become the hunters instead of the hunted. He looked around at his crew. Good people. Brave people. People who were willing to risk everything to keep others safe. We don't seek war. We don't want violence. But we will never allow our people to be victims. We will never surrender. We will never stop protecting those who cannot protect themselves. Jake finished his log entry with words that would later become famous across human space. Today, 3 pirate ships ran from one human vessel. They ran because they learned the truth. They learned that humanity is not prey. We are the line that cannot be crossed. We are the shield that protects the innocent. We are the sword that strikes back when attacked. And most importantly, we are united. Every human ship, every human colony, every human being in this galaxy is part of one family, and we protect our family. He closed the log and looked at his crew with pride. Set course for the next patrol sector, Jake ordered. Let's continue doing our job. Let's keep our people safe. Yes, sir, the crew responded together. As the Reaper moved through space, disguised as a harmless transport, Jake thought about the future. More enemies would come eventually. New threats would arise. But humanity would be ready. They had learned an important lesson. You don't need to be the strongest to survive. You don't need to be the most violent to win. You just need to be smart, prepared, and absolutely certain of one thing. You never give up. You never surrender. You protect your own, no matter the cost. The stars stretched endlessly before them. Somewhere out there, pirates and raiders watched human ships pass by. And they remembered the stories. They remembered the warnings. They remembered what happened to those who attacked humanity. And they stayed away. The Reaper sailed on through the darkness, a silent guardian protecting the innocent, a hidden warrior keeping the peace. Because that's what humans do. That's who they are. Peaceful explorers who became fierce protectors. And the galaxy would never forget it. 1 year had passed since Captain Jake Martinez, and the Reapers sent their message to the galaxy. The Human Defense Command headquarters on Earth was holding a special meeting. Admiral Catherine Ross stood at the head of a long conference table. Around her sat 20 ship captains. These were the commanders of the disguised warships scattered across human space. Captain Jake Martinez was among them. Saracen stood behind him as his new second-in-command. Captains, thank you for coming. Admiral Ross began. Today we evaluate the success of Operation Reaper. She activated a holographic display. Statistics and graphs filled the air above the table. 1 year ago, human vessels were attacked an average of 40 times per month. Hundreds of our people died each year. Billions of credits worth of cargo were stolen. She changed the display. The new numbers were dramatically different. Today, attacks on human ships have dropped to less than 3 per month, a 92% reduction. Pirate activity in our space has nearly disappeared. The captain smiled. Their mission was working, but Admiral Ross's expression remained serious. However, we face a new challenge. Other species are now asking questions. She pulled up a message from the Galactic Council. The Council was a group of peaceful alien races who work together to maintain order in the galaxy. The Council wants to know how we achieve this success, Ross explained. They want to know our secret. Some species are afraid we're building a massive military fleet. An older captain spoke up. His name was Thomas Rivera, commander of another disguised warship. What did you tell them, Admiral? Ross smiled slightly. I told them the truth. We didn't build more weapons. We just used what we had more intelligently. She looked around the table, at each captain. But here's what concerns me. Other species want to copy our strategy. The Zorthian traders want disguised warships. The Luminari monks want hidden defenses. Even some council members are interested. Jake leaned forward. Is that a problem, Admiral? If everyone uses this strategy, won't it make space safer? Maybe, Ross said thoughtfully. Or maybe it will make everything more dangerous. If every ship in the galaxy might be a warship, if no one trusts anyone, what happens to trade? To exploration? To peace? The room became quiet. The captains understood the problem. Their strategy worked because only humans used it. But if everyone copied them, the galaxy could become a very paranoid place. Sarah whispered to Jake, "What do we do, Captain?" Jake was silent for a moment, thinking. Then he stood up. "Admiral, may I speak?" Ross nodded. "Of course, Captain Martinez. You started all of this. Your input is valuable." Jake walked to the center of the room. All eyes turned to him. "I think we need to share our strategy," he said, "but with conditions." Several captains looked surprised. Share their secret? Their advantage? Jake continued. "We share it only with peaceful species. Only with those who promise to use it for defense, not aggression. We help them protect themselves, just like we protect ourselves." "And in return?" Admiral Ross asked, curious where Jake was going with this. "In return, we form an alliance, a defense pact. Species who use this strategy agree to help each other if any aggressive empire tries to conquer them." Jake's eyes were bright with passion. "Don't you see? We can turn our strategy into something bigger, not just human protection, but galactic peace. Pirates and raiders will have nowhere to hunt safely." An older captain shook her head. "That sounds idealistic, Captain. Too good to be true." "Maybe," Jake admitted, "but isn't that what we've already done? We achieved something that seemed impossible. We stopped pirate attacks without starting a war." Admiral Ross studied Jake carefully. Then, slowly, she smiled. "You're suggesting we export peace instead of war." "Exactly, Admiral. Humans became strong to protect ourselves. Now we can use that strength to help others protect themselves, too." Ross looked at the other captains. "What do you all think?" Captain Rivera spoke first. "It's risky, but I like it. We'd be making allies instead of just scaring enemies." Other captains nodded in agreement. One by one, they voiced their support. Admiral Ross made her decision. "Very well. I'll present this proposal to the Galactic Council. Captain Martinez, I want you to come with me. You'll explain the Reaper strategy directly to the Council representatives." 2 weeks later, Jake stood before the Galactic Council on the neutral station called Unity Point. The council chamber was enormous, with seats for representatives from 50 different species. Jake felt nervous but determined. Sarah stood beside him for support. A Luminari elder spoke first. Her voice was gentle but carried great authority. "Captain Martinez, we have heard stories of your ship, the Reaper. Some call you a hero. Others call you a deceiver. Which are you?" Jake took a deep breath. "Honored elder, I am simply a human trying to protect my people. The Reaper is not about deception. It's about survival." He activated a holographic display, showing the statistics. The attacks before, the attacks after, the lives saved. "For years, human ships were easy targets," Jake explained. "We are a peaceful species. We don't build massive fleets. We don't seek conquest. But pirates saw our peace as weakness." A Zorthian merchant interrupted. "So you deceive them. You disguise warships as innocent vessels." "Yes," Jake admitted honestly. "We did. But ask yourself this question. Who are the real deceivers? The pirates who pretend to be peaceful traders before attacking? Or us, who defend ourselves using strategy instead of overwhelming force?" The council chamber buzzed with discussion. Jake continued. "We didn't start attacking others. We didn't invade pirate bases. We simply made our own space too dangerous for them to operate in. They chose to leave. That was their decision." The Luminari elder raised her hand for silence. "Captain, why are you here? What do you want from this council?" Jake stood straighter. "We want to share our strategy, but only with species who commit to using it for defense. Only with those who promise to work together for peace." He looked around the chamber at all the different alien faces. Humanity learned something important. Real strength is not about having the biggest weapons. It's about making others think twice before attacking you. It's about cooperation and unity. We propose a defense alliance, Jake announced. Any peaceful species can join. We share defensive strategies. We help each other build hidden defenses. And if any aggressive empire attacks a member, all members respond together. The chamber erupted with voices. Some excited, some skeptical, some afraid. The Luminari elder called for order. This is a significant proposal. The council must discuss it carefully. She looked directly at Jake. But I will say this, Captain Martinez. Humanity has shown great wisdom. You became strong without becoming cruel. You protected yourselves without attacking others. That is rare in this galaxy. Jake bowed respectfully. Thank you, honored elder. The council debated for 3 days. Finally, they reached a decision. 18 species voted to join the Defense Alliance. 18 peaceful civilizations who wanted to protect themselves the way humanity did. The Galactic Defense Alliance was born. Back on the Reaper, 6 months later, Jake received a special message. It was from a Zorthian merchant captain whose ship had been saved by the new alliance. Captain Martinez, the message said, "Yesterday, pirates approached my vessel. They prepared to attack. But then they saw the Defense Alliance symbol on my hull. They scanned my ship and detected hidden weapons, just like you taught us. They ran away without firing a shot. My crew is alive because of you. Thank you." Jake showed the message to Sarah. She smiled. "We did it, Captain. We changed the galaxy." Jake nodded, but his expression was thoughtful. "For now, yes, but there will always be new threats, new challenges. Our work is never truly finished. What do we do next?" Sarah asked. Jake looked out at the stars. "We keep patrolling. We keep protecting. We keep teaching others how to protect themselves. That's our legacy, Sarah." He turned to his crew. "We proved that being human means more than just surviving. It means helping others survive, too. It means turning strength into protection, not domination. We showed the galaxy that peace is not weakness, that kindness is not foolishness, that you can be gentle and still be strong." Jake returned to his captain's chair. The Reaper, still disguised as a simple transport, continued its patrol through the stars. But now it wasn't alone. Across the galaxy, hundreds of other ships flew the same banner. The Defense Alliance was growing. Peace was spreading. All because one human captain refused to be prey. All because humanity chose to be protectors instead of victims. The legacy of the Reaper would echo through the stars for generations to come, not as a story of war, but as a story of wisdom, not as a tale of violence, but as a lesson in strategy, and most importantly, as proof that even in a dangerous galaxy, peace was possible if you were brave enough to fight for it and wise enough to share it with others. 2 years after the formation of the Galactic Defense Alliance, peace had spread across known space. Pirate attacks were rare. Trade routes were safe. Species that once feared traveling alone now moved freely through the stars. Captain Jake Martinez had been promoted to Admiral. He now commanded the entire Defense Alliance fleet from a massive space station called Guardian Point. The station floated at the center of Alliance territory, a symbol of unity and strength. Sarah Chun was now a captain herself. She commanded her own disguised warship, the HSS Sentinel. She had learned everything from Jake, and she was proud to continue his work. But today, Sarah's ship detected something strange. "Admiral Martinez, we have a situation." Sarah's voice came through Jake's communication console. She sounded worried. Jake was in his office on Guardian Point, reviewing patrol reports. He immediately gave Sarah his full attention. "What is it, Captain Chun?" "We've detected a massive energy signature at the edge of the Kelver system. It's unlike anything we've seen before. It's not Krail, not Vorgith, not any species we know." Jake felt a cold sensation in his chest. "Send me the data." Within seconds, the information appeared on his screen. His eyes widened. The energy signature was enormous. Whatever was out there was big, very big. "Captain Chun, maintain your distance and continue scanning. I'm sending reinforcements to your position." "Understood, Admiral." Jake activated the emergency channel to all Defense Alliance ships in the sector. All vessels, This is Admiral Martinez. We have an unidentified contact in the Kelver system. Unknown origin, unknown intentions. All ships proceed to alert status. Across 12 different star systems, captains received a message. Human ships, Zorthian vessels, Luminari cruisers, even some former pirate crews who had joined the Alliance. They all began moving toward the Kelver system. On the Guardian Point Command Center, Jake stood before a massive holographic display. His tactical officers surrounded him, working frantically to gather information. What do we know? Jake asked. Lieutenant Marcus Webb, now a commander, answered. The signature is consistent with a large warship, Admiral, but the power readings are off the scale. Whatever it is, it's using technology we don't understand. Is it moving? No, sir. It's stationary. Just sitting there, like it's waiting for something. Jake didn't like this. An unknown ship with massive power, just waiting at the edge of their territory. It felt like a test. Or a trap. Hail them, Jake ordered. All frequencies. Let's see if they want to talk. The communication officer tried every known method of contact. Radio waves, quantum entanglement signals, even ancient light-speed transmissions. Nothing received a response. The unknown ship remained silent. Hours passed. More Alliance ships arrived in the Kelver system. 20 vessels now surrounded the unknown contact, keeping a safe distance. Captain Shin sent another report. Admiral, I'm picking up strange readings from the object. It's scanning us, studying us. Can you tell what it's looking for? No, sir. But whatever it is, it's incredibly advanced. Our sensors can barely detect what it's doing. Then, without warning, the unknown ship moved. It didn't accelerate slowly like normal vessels. It simply appeared in a different location, thousands of kilometers away, instantly. No engine burn, no energy spike. It just teleported. What the... Commander Webb whispered in shock. The ship moved again, and again. Each time, it appeared in a new position around the Alliance fleet. It was testing them, measuring their response time, studying their formations. Jake's mind raced. This was no ordinary threat. This was something far beyond what they had prepared for. Suddenly, a communication channel opened, not through normal methods. The signal appeared directly in every ship's computer system simultaneously. A voice spoke. It was deep and resonant, but cold, emotionless. Species of this region, we are the Architect Collective. We have observed your development with interest. Jake grabbed the communication console. This is Admiral Jake Martinez of the Galactic Defense Alliance. State your intentions. Intentions? The voice seemed amused by the question. We have no intentions, Admiral. We have conclusions. We have studied your species and your allies. We have analyzed your strategies, your disguised warships, your defensive alliance. The unknown ship, now revealed to be an Architect vessel, moved again. This time it positioned itself directly between the Alliance fleet and their escape routes. We find your methods inefficient, the Architect voice continued. You hide your strength. You deceive your enemies. You build alliances based on fear and uncertainty. Jake felt anger rising in his chest. We build alliances based on mutual protection. We defend ourselves without unnecessary violence. Unnecessary violence? The Architect voice grew colder. All violence is necessary, Admiral. All conflict serves a purpose. The strong survive. The weak are eliminated. This is the natural order of the universe. Sarah's voice came through on a private channel. Admiral, what are we dealing with? Jake answered quietly. Something that believes might makes right. Something that thinks our way is wrong. The Architect ship began to glow with energy. Weapon systems activated. Not just a few weapons. Hundreds, maybe thousands. The vessel bristled with destructive power. We have decided, the Architect voice announced. Your defense alliance threatens a natural order. Species that should be conquered remain free. Pirates and raiders who should be eliminated are rehabilitated. Weakness is preserved instead of removed. Jake's blood ran cold. He understood now. The architects weren't just a threat. They were a philosophy, a belief system that saw the strong dominating the weak as the only proper way. We cannot allow this to continue, the architect said. Your alliance will be dissolved. Your disguised warships will be destroyed. The natural order will be restored. 20 alliance ships face one architect vessel. But Jake knew something the architects didn't know, something that gave him hope. You've made a mistake, Jake said calmly into the communication channel. Explain, the architect demanded. You think we're weak because we choose peace. You think hiding our strength is cowardice. You think our alliance is based on fear. Jake smiled grimly. But you're wrong. Our strength isn't in our weapons. It's not in our tricks or our strategies. Our strength is in our unity, our willingness to stand together, to protect each other. Words, the architect voice dismissed, empty philosophy. Power is the only truth. Then let us show you our power, Jake said. Not just human power, not just one species, but the power of 20 different civilizations standing as one. He opened a channel to all alliance ships. All vessels form defensive formation Omega. Prepare to engage on my command. The 20 ships moved together like a single organism. Human vessels, Zorthian, Luminari, Vorgoth, species that had once been enemies now moved in perfect coordination. The architect ship watched, analyzed, calculated. Impressive coordination, the architect admitted, but insufficient. Our technology is superior. Our weapons are more advanced. Our ship alone equals your entire fleet. Maybe, Jake said, but you're still alone, and we're together. That makes all the difference. The architect's ship powered its weapons to maximum. Then you choose extinction. So be it. But before the architect could fire, something unexpected happened. A massive distortion appeared in space. Then another, and another. Dozens of new energy signatures materialized around the Kelver system. More ships were arriving. Hundreds of them. Species from across the galaxy. Some were Defense Alliance members. Others were not. But they had all heard about the architect threat, and they had all come to help. Jake's communication console exploded with messages. This is the Dravix Empire. We stand with the Alliance. Creo Warfleet arriving. Commander Vex sends his regards. Admiral Martinez. Zorthian merchant fleets reporting. We're ready to defend our friends. Even species that were not part of the Alliance had come. They had heard about humanity's philosophy, about the Defense Alliance, about protecting the weak instead of exploiting them, and they had decided that this philosophy was worth fighting for. The architect's ship's voice returned, and for the first time, it sounded uncertain. This is unexpected. Why would so many species risk themselves for others? Jake's voice was strong and clear, because that's what civilized beings do. We don't let bullies decide who lives and who dies. We don't accept that might makes right. We believe in something better. The space around the Kelver system was now filled with ships. Hundreds of vessels from dozens of species. All united, all ready to fight if necessary. But Jake didn't want to fight. Not yet. Architects, he said. You came here to study us, to understand our methods. Well, now you see the truth. Our strength isn't in hiding weapons or deceiving enemies. Our strength is in choosing to stand together. He paused, letting his words sink in. You can destroy us. Maybe, but you'll have to destroy all of us. Every single ship here, every species, every civilization that believes cooperation is better than domination. Are you prepared to do that? Jake asked, are you prepared to become the very thing you claim to oppose? To use overwhelming force against those who simply want to live in peace? The architect's ship was silent for a long moment. Its weapons remained charged. Its power core hummed with deadly energy. Then, slowly, the weapons powered down. You have given us much to consider, Admiral Martinez, the architect voice said. We came expecting to find weakness disguised as strength. Instead, we found something we did not anticipate. What's that? Jake asked. Unity that is genuine. Strength that is chosen, not forced. Species that stand together not from fear, but from mutual respect. The architect ship began to withdraw. We will not attack today, but we will be watching. If your alliance proves to be genuine, if your philosophy truly works, perhaps there is something to learn from it. And if it fails, Jake asked, then we will return. And next time, we will not be alone. There are others like us in the universe, Admiral, others who believe in the natural order. They will come to test you as we have. The architect vessel vanished in a flash of light, using the same instantaneous movement technology it had demonstrated before. The hundreds of ships that had gathered remained in formation. Slowly, cautiously, they began to relax. Sarah's voice came through, filled with relief. We did it, Admiral. We faced them down without firing a shot. Jake sat down heavily in his command chair. He suddenly felt very tired. For now, Captain Chun. For now. He looked at the display, showing all the ships that had come to help. So many species. So many different beliefs and cultures. All united by one idea. That peace was worth fighting for. That cooperation was stronger than domination. That the future didn't have to be ruled by the strong, crushing the weak. Commander Webb approached. Admiral, what do we do now? The architect will return. They said so. Jake nodded slowly. Then we prepare. We make our alliance stronger. We bring in more species. We prove that our way works. He stood up and looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, the architects were watching, judging, waiting. And somewhere out there, other threats were gathering. Species that believed in conquest, in domination, in the strong ruling the weak. They would come eventually. Jake knew this with certainty. But when they came, they would find humanity and its allies ready. Not because they had the biggest weapons or the most powerful ships, but because they had something far more powerful. They had each other. And that, Jake thought, might just be enough.